This sound is a DJ's worst nightmare. And this could all be solved by just knowing how to beat match. And even though we have the sync button, things can still go wrong. So in this video, I'll teach you how to manually beat match any genre on a controller and CDJ, how to apply it in a real life situation, how to master beat matching fast, and if you make it to the end, I'll teach you the right way to use the sync button. And no, we're not trying it out. Now to help you guys follow along, all the tracks I use in this video can be downloaded. Check the links down below. So let's learn how to beat match. Now when you load a track, pay attention to this number here. This is your track's BPM, and to simplify this, you can think of BPM as your track speed. Now, let's load up our second song, and here you'll notice that its BPM is different from our first track's BPM. So the first step to beat matching is to ensure both tracks' BPMs are the same. And we can use a tempo fader here to adjust each track's BPM. Now let's adjust the second track's BPM to be the same as the first. But why the second track and not the first, you may be wondering? Well, when your current song is playing and people are dancing, adjusting its BPM can affect the dance floor vibe. So affecting a track that hasn't been introduced yet is ideal. Now just because you've matched both tracks' BPMs doesn't mean you'll get your timing right. And if you rush things out, this is what usually happens even for pros. So the often skipped second step is getting into rhythm using the cue button here. And this button allows us to start a track temporarily. So what pros usually do is right before playing their next track in, is that they tap the cue button to get into rhythm with the current track. The goal here is to cue the downbeat of the next track precisely when the downbeat of the current track lands. Then once you're feeling prepared and in sync with the rhythm, go ahead and play the next track. If you still get your timing massively wrong, simply press the cue button and try again. Of course, aligning your tracks perfectly like this won't happen every time. That's why DJs use the Jogwheels to fine-tune their beat matching. And Jogwheels function to temporarily speed up or slow down a song. So after cueing and playing your track, the next and final step is to fine-tune your beat match using the Jogwheel. When using CDJs and playing with different genres and BPMs, the approach remains exactly the same. Now you guys may be wondering what DJ gear I'm using. First off, this is a DJs FLX4. It's my favorite beginner DJ controller and the perfect step into getting into the world of DJing, as 99% of everything you'll ever need to mix and DJ is here. The layout is perfect as it mimics the club standard DJ gear, which includes CDJs and DJM mixers. As for the other DJ gear I'm using, they are the CDJ 3000s and DJM A9 mixer. They're the flagship DJ gear of Pioneer DJ, and this is the gear you see all pro DJs use in clubs and festivals. They're stupidly expensive though, so if you're starting out, I recommend getting the FLX4. But if you simply want the best money can buy, this DJ set is it. Now if you do decide to buy and invest in DJ gear, you have to consider after-sales service, because when things go wrong, which eventually will, you'll want the situation to be fixed as soon as possible with no problems at all. That's why I get all my DJ gear like these from Sweetwater. Because Sweetwater offers a free 2-year warranty as well as free shipping. So if anything goes wrong or if you need any help with my DJ gear, I know my gear and me will be totally fine. Additionally, Sweetwater offers the best prices and a lot of their gear actually go on sale, and to be honest with you, a lot of the gear I have, I actually bought from their discounts and sales. So make sure to check them out or check the links down below. So how does beat matching work in the real world? Because of course you can't be queuing things up and jogwheeling your track while the audience is listening and dancing to your mix. Well, they use the headphone cue button to prehear what they're doing using their headphones. For example, deck 1 is playing with its volume all the way up, while deck 2 is playing with its volume down. This is what both the audience and you hear. However, if you press deck 2's headphone cue button, this is what you hear in your headphones. And if you also press deck 1's headphone cue button, this is what you hear. So if you're beat matching deck 2, this is what you'll be hearing. But the audience will be hearing this. Now before we move on to applying this in a real DJ scenario, well, first things first. If you're starting out, you'll be surprised to know that DJs don't use the same songs you hear on Spotify and on YouTube, because those types of tracks are radio edits and they just start immediately, making beat matching and mixing extremely difficult for DJs. The ideal type of track you want is one that has an extended beat intro and an extended beat outro, because those extra beats at the start and end of the song will give you enough time to beat match and mix. And we refer to those types of tracks as extended edits. And these extended edits are only available for download from DJ record pools. And you can think of DJ record pools as huge libraries of music of all genres where DJs can download all the songs they could ever need. And these high quality tracks can range from radio edits to remixes, instrumentals, acapellas, and a whole lot more. And so the DJ record pool that most pro DJs use is Crate Connect. And you can get a huge discount on their services by using the coupon code DJ Carlo when signing up on their site. Anyway, with the proper tracks, here's what the pros do when they beat match and mix. With the current song playing, they load their next track in and bring its volume all the way down. Then, using the tempo fader, they adjust the next track's BPM to match the current tracks. And here's the crucial part. They press the headphone cue button so that they can listen to their next track even if its volume is down. And they get into rhythm by repeatedly pressing the next track's cue button and matching its pace with the current tracks. And once ready, they play their next track in. While the next track's volume fader is still down, they perfect their beat match by jogwheeling the track. Then once you're satisfied with their beat match, they bring the next track's volume up and mix. And they mix by lowering the low EQ of the current song, while at the same time increasing the volume of the next song. And they do this to create sonic balance. Now that you've learned how to beat match, it's time now to train your ears and hands to make beat matching with the Jogwheel feel natural. And the goal of this exercise is to identify and hear this sound effect. And you can only hear this sound effect by perfectly beat matching two duplicate tracks. So hearing that phase effect is your signal that you've achieved perfect beat matching. Let's do this exercise. Now, first things first, I would recommend downloading the track I use in this video, but feel free to use any of your own. Anyway, with the practice track loaded, play deck 1's track and get into rhythm using the cue button. Then when you're ready, play your next track and jogwheel it. If you feel like you messed up, don't worry. Just press the cue button and try again. Now if you want to challenge yourself, purposely miss time playing your next track, then figure out where to jogwheel it. Because no matter how bad your timing is, as long as your tracks are in the same BPM, you can always fix things up by jogwheeling. If you master that, here's a tougher challenge. The toughest challenge is when you don't know the BPM of the tracks you're using. So if you really want to master beat matching, try doing this exercise. The two biggest mistakes DJs make when using sync is not analyzing their track and checking whether their tracks are properly beat gridded. Let me give you an example. This is an unanalyzed track. Notice how it looks like. This area here is a drum beat and this is usually marked by a grid of white lines. Now when you do analyze a track, these white lines here are supposed to align with the drum beat. But sometimes DJ software gets it wrong and they place the beat grid at odd sections like this. So if you have tracks that have misaligned beat grids like this, that means that you have to manually beat grid them yourself, which is luckily very easy to do for 99% of tracks. On Rekordbox DJ, first zoom in on your track, then drag the down beat to this red line. You want that red line to be right before the beat starts. Then go to this section over here and press this button. And there you go, your track is beat gridded. But make sure to test things out and see if those white lines align with the drum beat to see if everything is okay. On Serato DJ, with your track loaded, press Edit Grid. Then drag the downbeat to this white line here. Then press Clear, then press Set, then press Save. You say you want me, I don't ignore you. To use sync like a pro, you need to know what's being synced with what. First things first, we're currently set to BPM sync. This means that when we press a sync button on a deck, the track's BPM will synchronize with the master deck's BPM. So to set a deck as master on the FLX 4, simply hold the sync button. Now all decks will follow this master deck's tempo. There's another sync setting called Beat Sync. When you enable Beat Sync on a deck, its BPM will follow the master deck's BPM, and the track will align with the master deck's tracks as well. Now, just because you know how to beat match doesn't mean you're a complete DJ. You also need to know the best places to mix because you can't just mix anywhere. Songs have different sections and phrases, and knowing where to mix is crucial for ensuring dance floor success. So check out this video over here to learn about the best places to mix and the best DJ tricks to use.